Good afternoon, everybody. It is Zoom-I-Fication time, and it is also Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. I know for some of us, it's the best day ever. For some of us, it's the worst day ever. It's just Valentine's Day. And I love Valentine's Day because it's just one more day to celebrate love in all of its forms, in all of its ways. And we have been spending the whole month of February talking about love. And we talked with a matchmaker about finding love, and we talked with a trauma therapist about surviving love. And today, on Valentine's Day, what is the best thing we can possibly do? I think we need to talk about how do we make our world accessible to love? And who is better to talk to us about that than the amazing Lois Kramer-Perez of Mambo Feng Shui? And it is true. You can feng shui your love. Isn't that awesome? So let's bring her in and see how we do this. Hey, Lois.
Hello, happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Thanks for coming to play with us. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about you and what you do and how you do it?
Okay, so I help you feng shui your space and your soul. And that means I give you tools and tips on how you can create a space to attract and nourish the life that you want to create and the life that you love. We are so much influenced by what we have around us more than we even realize. And there's so much psychology behind the principles of feng shui. A few simple things can make all the difference. And I found that when I began studying feng shui, I never thought I was going to feng shui anybody, but it changed my life so profoundly. I just got propelled into it. And before I knew it, I was quitting my job and leaving the world in fashion and just going to shui the world. And here I am, loving my life and helping you love yours too.
I love that so much. It is exactly what you do. And you do really help everybody with pretty much everything. And I think you heard me right when I said this is love kind of day for us. It's not necessarily finding a life partner, although it could be. It's really just having a life that's full of love.
Absolutely. And you are influencing the people that you know, the people you haven't met by who you are and how you show up in your life. So who do you want to attract based on how you show up? And that doesn't have to be romantic or a husband or a wife or a partner. It can be how do you want to attract what's in your life? So today I chose to remind myself, I want to see through the eyes of love. Everything I see, I want to see what's good about it. And that can change everything. And our third eye, right here in the center of our forehead, is our intuition, our wisdom. It's what we're seeing. And sometimes what we don't even realize we're seeing is having the biggest impact on us of all.
I think that's awesome. Well, I do because I love you. But what are the ways that people can sort of access that open space? How do they get where they need to go when it comes to being open to seeing through the eyes of love?
Okay, I'm going to give you some of my favorite feng shui tips. And this will not only help you attract love, this will help you love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, you're not attracting anything that's going to be healthy for you. So you want to love yourself. You want to be healthy. You want to attract what's healthy for you. And it all starts with how you choose to live. And your home, your office, where you spend the most time are actually your living vision boards. So think about this simply. The number one tip I always share is create a fabulous first. The first thing you see, whether you're conscious or not, of what it is what it is creating for you. Every first should be fabulous. So what happens when you wake up in the morning? Where do your eyes go? Is it something that you see that you're like, oh God, I didn't fold the laundry, or unfinished business, or is it something that you open your eyes and you just feel lifted? How about when you enter your home? What's the first thing you notice? Does the door open easily? Does it get stuck behind the shoes or the crap that everybody left in the, behind the door? Are you tripping over recycles and trash and, oh, they didn't take it out? Like, what is that first experience? Is the door stuck? Does it eat? Does it creak? Or does it open easily? Does it swing open too far and you have no boundaries? So simple things really tell a big story. You want every first that you experience throughout your day to be fabulous. When you're sitting in your favorite chair, when you're sitting in your office. So important. Simple things make the big difference. And, people will say to me, well, I don't have to clean this out. Be practical. Your vision line is very specific.
I have to share this with you. It's absolutely hysterical. Angela just came on. Hi, Angela. I'm so glad you're here. She said, have you been in my house? Which I think is hysterical because that is my same question. So, no, Lois just knows all, Angela.
I see.
But it's so true. I've heard you say that so many times. And I really did make changes. So there's like a really lovely floral arrangement on the dresser that is across from my bed. So when I wake up, that's what I'm seeing. And it really does make a difference. Instead of seeing like piles of stuff I need to do, that's it. At my desk, because unfortunately, my desk is in my bedroom because it's unfortunate. And it happens to be across from my bed. And it used to be stacked with stuff. And I make sure that when I go to bed at night, there's nothing on my desk. And that makes a huge difference when I wake up in the morning.
And what you can do, Jean, to elevate that even more, place something on your desk. So when you wake up and you see it, is something that you want to be, something that you want to manifest, something that you want to create, whether it's a vacation at the beach, or, whether it's being in a field of sunflowers with your favorite shui friend, or, anything at all, because those simple little things, they're connecting on our subconscious level and they're already lifting us up.
So how does that impact allowing space for love?
Well, that's the first step. It's because how you feel when you're in your space, if you feel good, it will be inviting. If it's easy for you to enter your home, it will be easy for someone new to enter your home, for something happy to enter your home. And in Feng Shui, we say that our front door is our face to the world. So how do you present your face to the world? And some of my clients say, well, I come in through the garage or I come in through the back door, or it's easier to go, blah, blah, blah. Well, you still have to pay attention to what your front door is saying. And what I suggest you do is open your front door and step out of it on a regular basis. And some people still have their mailbox at the front door. Some people still receive their Amazon or their groceries or all their deliveries at the front door. So every time you come in and out, make it welcoming. And what we love to do on Chinese New Year is wash our front door, get a new front door mat, set the tone to welcome opportunities when everything is fresh and new. So that's my time for Chinese New Year that comes every year between mid-January to mid-February, based on the Lunar New Year, how the moons fall, is to remind myself, okay, it's a new year, it's a fresh start, new front door mat, make it inviting, wash the front door. And I even tap into some of the Feng Shui astrology to choose what color mat should I use and what shape should it have. So there's so much we can do as we go deeper and deeper. But the simplest thing is just make it inviting.
I love that. So what comes next?
Well, you always want to be in command. These are two life lessons that are important for us to know. So you could see I'm sitting in my queen's throne. I have a beautiful chair with a high back, and I've got arms, and I have a wall behind me with a view of the door. This way, I don't feel that I'm distracted, that I don't feel like was anybody coming. I don't feel compelled to turn around, and I'm not turning my back to opportunity. Because what people don't realize is when your back is to the door, it's as if you don't want to be found. Similar to when we check our front doors, if people can't see the number on your house, or if you hear people are getting lost, that's a clue. Maybe opportunity is just passing me by because they can't find me. So very simply, be in command, feel settled and feel comfortable in your own space. And then you're open to receive.
I love that. So I'm going to tell everybody they have to follow you in your social media because you give tips all the time too. So
Absolutely.
I knew about the doormat because I got that tip from Lois already. So you can go to her social media and you can find that out. So are you Mambo Feng Shui on Instagram or are you Lois Kramer-Perez?
Mambo Feng Shui Lois.
Oh, you got it. So go to Mambo Feng Shui Lois, follow her on Instagram. She is amazing. I'll put the link in the chat too. But so we're there. We're waking up and we're making our entries into our space beautiful. And we're doing what we need to do to create this. So now what's next?
Well, while you're waking up, take a look at your bedroom. Besides the first thing you see, now we can start looking around to see what's really going on in the bedroom. You want to create an intimate retreat. Now, who do you want to share this bedroom with? So my feeling is we don't want to bring our kids, our grandparents, our friends and family into our bedroom. We want to keep that bedroom as our intimate retreat. And what's really funny is I believe we all know this on some level. Growing up, I had a big crush on Richard Chamberlain. He was Dr. Kildare, if anybody remembers those doctor shows back in the 60s. And I had a picture of him framed on my desk. Well, every morning when I got up, I would put him face down. I didn't want him to see me getting dressed because I was a little bit modest. So that really gave me a clue way back then as a 10-year-old that it was so important who I had in my space. So look around and see what's going on. It's okay to love your kids and your family, but it really should be designated just for you and your partner or the partner you want to create. And while you're looking around in your bedroom, I want you to think of what are you sleeping on top of? Sometimes there are people that have small spaces and we're challenged with how we can store things. I had a client that lived in a 1.5 room apartment in New York City, and she stored her mosaic tools under her bed in those drawers. And that was like chisels and hammers and stones. And she would get headaches all the time. I said, well, let's take those tools out and replace that with blankets and sheets and towels and pajamas, things that at least make sense that you'd be sleeping on top of. Ideally, we want under the bed to be clear, but sometimes we've got to do the best we can. And don't put your tax forms and your bills and all those divorce papers or all those things that just create agita. Don't put those under your bed, because even if you say, well, I won't remember it, it's out of sight. Out of sight does not necessarily mean out of mind, because our storage areas, our closets, our drawers are actually connected to our subconscious. So whatever you're putting there and you're sleeping on, you're going to get that message. And if you wonder why you're dreaming that you're running around for hours and hours on end, well, you got all your shoes under your bed. Your shoes want to be walking. So pay attention. Simple things. It makes sense, right?
I love that so much. I could just imagine, sleeping with tools under your bed and suddenly feeling like,
Now, here's another thing people don't realize. Is there room for someone in your life? So look at your dressers and the closets. Are they packed to the gills that you can't even get another thing in? How would someone feel? Would they feel comfortable coming in? I remember when I dated someone, and he lived in upstate New York. And when I would visit him, he had one chair in his office for himself. There was nowhere for me to sit. I had to sit outside. In his bedroom, he had one nightstand, and on the other side, there was none. So that was already a clue saying, you know what? Don't think you're going to be permanent here. You're barely a visitor. There's hardly any room for you. So we want to look at what messages we're giving. We like to have 2 nightstands because that means it's one for each person. They don't have to be the same. However, if one is taller than the other, the person sleeping on the side with the higher nightstand is the one that's going to be ruling that relationship. And sometimes that works for people. Don't say no. Who knows? Maybe that's important, and not in an abusive way, but in a healthy way where, okay, you're in charge of this and I'm in charge of that. Whatever works for you. And so if you're looking to enhance a relationship you have, Have you been crowding out your partner by taking up all the space? Well, make a little room. If you want to bring someone in, you can put 3 hangers in your closet so there's room for someone to hang at least a shirt or a pair of pants. Make a little room next to your underwear. Oh, maybe his underwear can be next to mine or hers, whatever, you're looking for. So is there room? That's so important, because when we don't have room, that's also a metaphor for don't come in. I'm full. And how many times have somebody said, well, I can't invite anyone over. My place is just a mess. I've got too much stuff all over the place. Well, I worked with a client at one point and we talked about what was happening in her living room and all her projects. And she said, I don't want anybody coming over. I don't want to host anything. So she was able to organize and make it comfortable for herself without having to have an excuse. She could make a decision. Maybe I'm not ready to host a dinner. I don't want to have a party. Well, that's okay. You don't have to do anything, but it's important to just be in a healthy place, because you come first. Love yourself, and then it's easy for others to love you.
My favorite part of this whole thing, when we're talking about creating a space for love, the first space you create is the space where you get to love yourself.
Absolutely.
And it could be, I have a very good friend who is like, I love people. I love hanging out with people. I love my friends. I'm really happy being single. And it's not the being single, it's the being happy.
Right.
Right.
And when you look at your space to welcome someone in, it doesn't have to be romantic. You can be very happy living your life with yourself, but you still might want to have a good relationship with friends and family. So again, how welcoming is it to have your best friends come over and just hang out? And it's a metaphor for opening into your life.
Your comment about facing the door and being open to opportunity, that's sort of that scenario as well, right? If you're in a space where, whether you want to let people in or not, if the space you're in is a space you're proud of and you'd want to show off, basically you're just open to opportunity.
Yes. And it's important that you create the space that supports you. There's a big difference when you fill your space with things you love that lift you up, as opposed to giving up your choices to a designer. Before I knew about feng shui, I had a very, very good friends, a couple, and they were very proud. They just had their whole house redecorated, and it was beautiful. But I couldn't quite put my finger on what felt kind of off. Only the kitchen felt like them. The rest felt like I was in a showroom. And I realized they gave all the power to the designer and said, I just like blue, make it blue. But there was not anything really connected to them except in the kitchen. So feng shui teaches us, you can have guidance, you can look at experts to guide you with colors or design or different things. But if it's not all about you, it's like you're not feeling comfortable in your own skin. So feel comfortable in your own skin. And then people will feel comfortable around you.
Again, I have this lovely friend who has this lovely house, and it's filled with knickknacks and warm things. And it's just an amazing space to walk into. Her whole house is about welcoming people and welcoming life. And it's sort of, just very down to earth and sweet and lovely. And I had to go into her bedroom for a minute for something. And as I walked in the door, it was leopard prints and tiger prints and I was like, okay. It was just, but it was wonderful because you got it. It was like it was all about who she was. It is all about who she is. And it creates that dynamic where, she gets to be wild and exotic, and she gets to be wonderful and welcoming, and she's both.
Absolutely. And you brought up a really good point, Jean. When you are in another person's space, to leave your judgment outside, because we relate to things around us very different based on who we are. And there are people that like to collect things. They love their collections. They like to be comfy. They have lots of pillows and throws, and they like to snuggle. That feels comfortable and good for them. That's someone that has a lot of earth element in their nature, and that's what supports them. Well, if a person who has a lot of metal in their nature, meticulous, they may feel it's overcrowded. They may even feel like, oh my God, that's so much clutter, when it isn't at all. It's a very organized, expression of the person feeling comfortable. So we want to take a step back and notice the person is in their domain and they're expressing who they are. It may not be what feels comfortable for me to live in. I can certainly visit, but we want to leave our judgment out the door, because if someone came into a metal person's house that was all clean, white, stainless steel, nothing out of place, very little objects, just so meticulous, an earth person might feel, oh my gosh, this is so empty and cold. I don't feel supported here. So we all have our ways, and those are the two extremes. To just be gentle when you're experiencing something. Look at the person and see the joy that they feel about where they are, and just embrace that and say, wow, how beautiful that you can be yourself on purpose. That's another key. Be yourself on purpose. Do not believe that you need to change yourself for someone to like you, to accept you. We love you because of who you are. And then if you think you have to change it, we're going to be disappointed. Where did you go? Now come back, Jean. We love you for who you are. Stay there. That's what we love.
And don't you think when you make those changes, when you make changes in effort to be there for someone else, you're walking through your space feeling awkward,
Yes.
feeling out of sorts because it's not you. I got to say hello. Stephanie's here. Hi, Stephanie. I love you. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, you got to tell us what your feng shui world is like, because you have the best world set up in your environment, and I do love you. Oh, thank you. I have to say, the tips that you give make such a difference in my world. I got to find out that I have a lot of water in me, people, which means that my not liking mornings is normal for me. But it is crazy when you're walking from space to space. I take this with me wherever I go, and it does change how I experience the world, because it really is not about my perception of as much as it is my acceptance of. And
Absolutely.
I learned that from you.
So when one of my favorite stories is what I learned about when I began studying feng shui, and I jumped right in to get certified. I had no idea why. I just knew I had to make it part of my life. Well, my biggest revelation was I'm not a bedroom set kind of a girl. I somehow believed, and nobody told me this, I believed when you got married and you became an adult, you bought a bedroom set. Well, Ray and I got married back in 1982. We never had a bedroom set because I never found one I liked. I had a bed, I had a stool, I had a pedestal, I had different objects, but I never had a bedroom set. And then I studied feng shui, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't need a bedroom set. So I went out, I bought a new bed, a brand new bed with a headboard and a footboard to feel supported and to feel like a queen in my bed, the most luxurious, bed linens and comforters. And then a year later, I found some end tables that I liked. And a year later, I found a dresser that I liked. And every time I get stuck on something that I feel like I can't move forward, or I'm feeling challenged, I said, wait a minute, I'm not a bedroom set kind of a girl. Am I attempting to do something that isn't in my nature, where I think I should do it like Jean does it, but I'm not Jean? Or I think I should do it like Jess does it, but I'm not Jess. Or maybe I think I should do it like Harry does it. I'm not Harry. So that was such a life lesson for me. And the things that we do every day that we recognize are really the messages and the power we have to be our best all the time.
Is it true? Because I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, by creating a space that is uniquely you, where you are really comfortable in that space, it gives you the confidence to accept the people who accept you in that space.
Yes.
So if we're talking about opening yourself up and letting love in, letting relationships in, that's a huge part of it, right? Because if people are walking in and being judgmental of your space, if people are asking you to change your space, they're probably not necessarily the right people. Is that accurate?
Well, everything is relative. You know, when you're inviting someone into your space to share your space, it's not about changing your space, but it's creating a space where you can both thrive. And there may be opportunity to designate certain areas to allow someone to choose what really drives them, what really supports them. So it's not about judgment. But if there is someone that comes in and wants to change everything and take over, well, that could be a message. Well, this person wants to be very controlling and take over everything. Are you in for that? And maybe not. So we all show you our true colors when you least expect it. You know, the most important thing is to pay attention. And when we want to share our space, we want to be mindful that we are open to creating something we both love. Because there's a reason we're attracted to each other. There's a reason we want each other in our life. There's something that person has that feels good for me. And I might explore adding something about them in my space that really connects me to them. So these are things that become choice based on what we desire.
I couldn't help but think every conversation that I've had this month with absolutely everyone, we've had this conversation about the myth of opposites attract and the idea that you have to change for someone. So you always say that you feng shui people, places, and things, right? So you start with the person.
Yes.
Before you start moving the objects around, being able to sort of rearrange your thoughts so you're not thinking that you need to redecorate yourself for someone else,
Right,
is really important, right?
And you know, Jean, I learned that lesson when I was doing the online dating some years back. I started noticing when I would meet someone, I had my antennas up to like, oh, well, what is it they want? What is it they want? And I was almost attempting to be what they wanted. And then when they never called again, I'm like, wait a minute. Thank God they didn't call again. Why was I attempting to be something that they wanted? They weren't even for me. I got so caught up in that whole process. I started to lose who I was. And then when I just gave up and said, you know, I'm just going to be me, whatever happens, happens, you know, take me as I am. I'll do the best I can. And that's the most important thing. Then there are no surprises, because when people have these relationships where they're on their best, then when they finally get to see who you are, it's like, well, where did that come from? So always be yourself. It's so much easier. You're happy. Everyone you know around you is happy, and it just is right. And when we understand who we are, then we can understand who the other person is. That's what feng shui taught me, to understand how different people will behave in different situations. The morning people versus the late night people, the people that like to be out running versus the people that like to be out, lying around stretching or, on the floor. So there's a reason. And when we can respect that, we can be attracted to anybody that fills our heart. And it's the adventure of getting to know someone and learning and appreciating all of these qualities together. So what happens, all the good stuff is what's present. And then the little stuff that happens, we keep replacing that with all the good stuff. So in the big scheme of things, does it really matter that he never shuts the drawer? You know what? In the big scheme of things, he's honest, he's kind, he's funny. I'll shut that drawer anytime. It's okay. Those little things that are like, in the big picture, what does it really mean? Is it enough to just start over? Or is it enough to say, hey, get over yourself? Focus on what's good about it. What's good about any situation. So today I'm reminding myself to remember to see what's good about things, to see the love in everything. And then there's no room for all that.
I know someone who lost their partner, and a couple of weeks later we were talking and they said, I would give anything to see his socks on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of all about the choices that you make and how you choose to experience what's going on around you.
Absolutely. And feng shui reminds us we always have a choice. It may not feel like we have a choice. It may not feel like there's anything else anywhere to go, but we always have the choice on how we can respond and relate to the experience at hand. And that can make the difference. We don't have to like everything. We don't have to agree with everything. But how do I manage myself in the midst of everything?
So what's next?
What's next? Okay. Oh, we want to be able to create movement and flow. So how you move around your space is very important. If you find yourself knocking into corners of things or stubbing your toe on something that sticks out just a little too much, all that can build up and that can create blockage, that can create that can be that there's not enough opening for things to happen. And I remember I was working with a client. She had a small Cape Cod house, and at the end of her hallway there was a door to the right to her office and a door to the left to the dining room. There was a tiny little wall that she had an antique typewriter on a little stand, and you wouldn't think that it took up a lot of space. It really didn't. But when I suggested she move that to another area and she found one she loved, the next day she called me. She says, you know what? I had no idea how that was holding me back. I'm zipping around my house more free than I ever felt, because just that little bit of twisting to get around that, even though it wasn't sticking out really far, it was just enough to have to be aware of moving your body in a way that was kind of slowing you down. So these little things, how you get around, really make a difference. And I remember when I was looking for furniture and I gave my layout to the person in the furniture store. And then I came home and I mopped it, blocked it out with tape on my floor. I went, wait a minute, there's not enough room for me to get around this. I put this here. So I called them up. I had to cancel it. I go, that's too big. It's not going to fit. That'll be crazy in my bedroom to have to like twist to go around my bed. No, not happening. So little things can make a big difference. How you move effortlessly is a metaphor for how effortlessly you move in life.
I love that. I really, really do. And you have, so there's a whole thing about mirrors, right? And where you
Yes.
place mirrors.
Yes. So my recommendations are, when you open your front door, I would not recommend having a mirror staring you in the face. Very often we have foyers and there's a wall and a staircase to the left. If there's a mirror there and you open the door and the mirror is there, you're going to bounce the energy right back out the door. Plus, you're going to see yourself. You might be scared and go, oh, who's there? So I don't recommend a mirror facing the opening of a front door. Mirrors are wonderful ways to expand space. So in my home, when I open my front door, I have a wall, maybe 8 inches to the right, but I have all this open space to the left. It opens up into my living room. Well, I have a mirror on that right wall because it gives me the illusion that I have space on both sides. So mirrors can open areas, give you that feeling of depth on either side. Mirrors are great to reflect beautiful things. They're wonderful in a dining room. If you have a beautiful mirror reflecting your dining room and thinking of everyone getting together, enjoying a meal, it's bountiful. Have a beautiful centerpiece on your dining room table and have that being reflected. You're doubling your bounty, you're doubling your prosperity, you're doubling your happiness. So these are ways we can use mirrors. Now, I know there's a lot of talk about mirrors in the bedroom. So I find this very interesting. They say if you have a mirror opposite, if your bed is here and the mirror is on the wall opposite, don't do that. It's bad. Well, why is it bad? Well, some people say that if you sit up and see yourself in the mirror, you might get startled. Well, yeah, maybe in the morning I'm startled. But think about when you get up in the morning, when I open my eyes, where do my eyes go? And when I sit up and get out of bed, am I facing the mirror or am I going to the right because I'm on the right side of the bed? I don't get out of the bed feet first. So it's all relative to what feels right for you and how that mirror is is connecting with when you wake up in the morning and how you see yourself. A great way to use a mirror in a bedroom is when there's only one place to put the bed, and that's where the bed is against the wall with the door next to it. So now you have the door behind your head, and that can feel very unnerving. You're not in command. So even though you know the doors are locked, the alarms are set, you've got Ring, nobody else is home, you may still feel like, is somebody coming? Is there someone behind me? So if that's the only place architecturally possible to put your bed, in the opposite corner of the door across the room, get a mirror, like a standing, beautiful mirror that acts like a rear view mirror. So you're lying in bed, you could see it from the right side, the left side of your eye, reflecting on the right side that's behind you. And it's simple. So whether you see it or not, your central nervous system's okay, I can see. Everything I need to know is right there for me. So there are wonderful ways we can use mirrors. And also, when you hang a mirror, you want to be able to see as much as your body as possible. If you walk through your house and your mirror is like showing you from your nose up, it's like, oh my gosh, what am I, a floating head? So think about how these mirrors are reflecting and what they're reflecting.
I love that. Yes, it's just me. It's right here.
Or my floating head.
So what else should we know?
I want you to take a look around and see what messages the objects in your space are telling you. I had a client when I was first doing my case studies for Feng Shui, and she was an artist. So she had all these beautiful paintings of women, single women, sculptures of single women. She did pottery. Then she also had this beautiful, in her bedroom, there was this beautiful round table and one chair. What all the messages were single, 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 single. So it doesn't mean if you're a woman, you can't have a beautiful single woman, portrait or piece of art or sculpture. But if that's all there is, that's all that you are attracting. So you want to combine who you are with what you want to create, what you want to desire. So we look around and say, okay, there's room. We talked about room for two people. If there's a pattern going on in every room, there's one chair and a table. Well, what does that say? So make sure there's room for someone else and put things around you that you want to include in your life. Maybe it's, a beautiful, couples dance. Maybe you want to go dancing. So get that painting of the couple dancing. Maybe you want to take trips. So there's people, enjoying a beautiful tropical getaway, things that you want to incorporate in your life. Start mixing it up so you have a nice variety of what it is. And who is it you want to create in your life? So you want to start doing things that you love so you meet someone that loves what you're doing. If you hate bowling, don't become part of a bowling league because you heard that there are cute guys there. He's going to want to go bowling every week and you're not going to want to go with him. But if you like to go hiking, join a hiking club. If you like to do fencing, whatever it might be, start getting involved in things you love to do. So this way, the people you meet are going to want to do that with you. So it's so important to connect to your intention. And I'm going to give you one of my favorite little Feng Shui secrets. If you want to create and attract and manifest something in your life, get yourself a red envelope, and it can be a traditional, Chinese red envelope. If you need them, I have plenty. You could just reach out to me. I'm happy to send them to you. Or you could get a pretty envelope, any pretty envelope at all, and on a really pretty piece of paper. And I love to keep stationery around. I always have something pretty to write on, some pretty notes, and all my favorite color pens. So get a piece of paper that you love to write on with your favorite pen and start writing down your desires in a way that you already have them in the present as if it's already happening. I'm so grateful for this partner in my life. She's so honest and funny and happy, financially secure, respects me. We have so much fun together. I love that my new boyfriend is 6'4" because I'm 5'11" and I can wear heels. I love that my new friend loves to travel. So, whatever it is you want to create in your life, a partner, a romance, a man, a woman, a relationship, a friendship, something that is meaningful to you, write it down as if you're already having it and with gratitude. How does it feel? Oh, it feels so good to be able to laugh like crazy at these silly movies that we watch every Friday night. All these things that connect to how you feel are making it happen. So now you take that list in your pretty envelope and you zip it in your pillowcase and you sleep on it for 27 days. 27 is a magic number in feng shui. 9 is our highest whole number. 2 plus 7 is 9. And 3 times 9 is 27. Heaven, man, and earth. It's that whole connection. So everything we do has a purpose. Now you sleep on it for 27 days and put it in your calendar to take it out when you're done. And then place that envelope where you're going to see it every day. Is it where you open up to get your toothpaste? Is it in your underwear drawer? Is it where you get your favorite cup every morning? And every time you see that envelope, you are going to remember how you feel, connecting to what it is that you are manifesting. And you're going to find yourself actually doing things that put you in that vibration, doing things and connecting with all that is that you want to attract. And before you know it, things start to happen. You have to be aware. So you have to choose something, create the intention, and then you have to do something. Because as my pal Al says, nothing happens unless something moves. So action is important. Writing it down and thinking and dreaming is okay to get you started, but you have to follow through and do something to follow it up and get involved. Participate.
I love it.
Okay, and I have one more really quick thing. When I was studying feng shui, we learned about this change your hair to change your life, right? So this feng shui remedy was every day for 27 days change your hair and someone will see you in a different light. Well, some of us might be challenged to change our hair every day for 27 days, but there is something to this 27 day. So if we can think about what can I do different for 27 days? All right, I'm going to get my journal out. So for the first 3 days, I might decide that if I can change my hair to be different, maybe I'll part it on a different side. Maybe I'll wear it up versus down. Maybe I'll curl it versus straight. So for the first 3 days, I'll do something with my hair. The next 3 days, instead of going to the gym in the morning, I'm going to go in the evening. The next 3 days, instead of doing my errands at Shop and Stop, I'm going to ShopRite. The next 3 days, instead of, I feel like all I do is wear pants, I'm going to wear a dress. The next 3 days, time for new lipstick. If you wear lipstick, okay, I'm going to call my friend Jen. Jen, I need red. I've been wearing pink. Or hey, what about orange? 3 days of orange. Why not? So start thinking about how can you plan out every 3 days to do something different, to be somewhere different, to show up differently, because you might find that someone might see you in a different light. Someone might be there when you least expect it. Maybe it's taking a different route. Gee, every day I come down the street, I make a right, I go over here. But you know what? I could take a different route and maybe I'll take a different highway. And then you notice something that you didn't know was there. Oh, I'm going to go check out that place. Before you know it, you're in that place. You're talking to someone that maybe owns the place or is shopping there too. Boom, you make a new friend. Boom, maybe it's a romance. Boom, anything is possible. Maybe it's a business connection. So this doing something different every 3 days for a total of 27 days can help you with your personal life, your family, your friendship, or even your business. Think about that.
It's getting yourself out of your rut, right?
Yep.
If you follow the same path every day for so long, you've just built this inertia, this rut, and jumping out of that to create something new. Even if it doesn't bring anything new directly into your life, it's going to bring something new to your soul.
Absolutely. And you may start to change your point of view about something that may lead you to something else. So not everything is a direct hit. Everything is an opportunity to take a new step in a new direction. Every step is an opportunity to find or do something different.
I have to kind of go back to something because Stephanie wrote, when you were talking about what you put in your home and what things you put in your home, Stephanie said the things in her home actually say a lot of things. She has signs everywhere, and she does. So she has like quotations that she loves, and cute sayings and welcoming sayings and things about family and things about love, and they're everywhere. What does that do for you?
That is very powerful, because the actual words are giving you that direct, instant connection. So we talk a lot about morning affirmations. Lots of us wake up in the morning and we do our affirmations, whether it's 1, whether it's 3, whether it's 50, or whether we, say 50 times every day in every way, I'm getting even better and better, whatever it is that works for you. But having those affirmations in place everywhere you go, having those declarations of joy, those declarations of, yes, this is what I love. I love my family. I love my life. Even when you don't read them, you are getting that direct message of how it feels. And that is really powerful. So for some of us, words are wonderful. Others, we can do it with objects, pictures, colors, shapes. Find what it is that connects you to the feeling that you choose to be. And however you do it is right for you. And I love that. It's a wonderful way that I also use for recommendations when we're talking about the energy of the year. And I know, Jean, you've been to my Chinese New Year workshops, and every year the energy shifts. Well, we've got great areas that give us bonus energy. And then there's some unruly areas where things can be a little bit unsettled. Well, how about a happy blessing in a place that might be cranky, right? Because love can override the crankiness. Love and joy and feelings of power and life can absolutely change the frequency of what that energy might be being. So that's a wonderful way. And I love that she's aware of how powerful and how good that is for her. That's being yourself on purpose. Hallelujah. That's 3 hallelujahs and an amen, sister. Yay.
I have to tell a story about Lois. She's heard this so many times before, but I have to say it because if you don't believe that spaces have energy, this story might change your mind. So my first studio was small. It was very small. And there was half of the space was where I showed people their images, pictures like what you see behind me were up on the walls. The other space was where I took the photos. And in the space with the pictures, there was one section of the wall where, because I use the sticky stuff on the walls, I don't use nails because I switch things out. Everything was sticking everywhere else, but there was just one section of the wall where every morning I would come in and the thing that I put on the wall would fall down. It didn't matter. It would just fall down. And Lois came in to clear my space and to create like a wonderful feeling for me in the studio. And she said, "Do you have any issues?" And I said, "Well, I can't keep this thing on the wall. I don't know what's happening." And she walked over and she said, "Oh." And she did her stuff and whatever. And she said, put the picture back up. She didn't touch anything. She didn't put anything on the wall. She did her thing. And so I put the picture back up. I was there 4 years. That picture never fell, ever. When I was moving out and I went to take the stuff off the walls, all the other pictures would come down off the walls. That picture fought me to come off the wall. And I was laughing hysterically. I was like, the power of owning your space and the power of having someone come in who knows what they're doing and clearing that space for you is amazing. I was stunned. I am a true believer. You're magical.
Oh, thank you, Jean. Well, you're magical too. And it's so important to hang out with the people that lift you up. I love hanging out with Jean for so many reasons. She is my photographer that I share her with the world because she's so beautiful. I love how Jean was really the first person who took my photograph that I was able to look at without feeling like, ugh. Somehow you just know it's you. She has a way of drawing out just your personality. And allowing you to be yourself on purpose. You'll never see a cookie cutter version of anything she does. Plus, I love Jean. She's fun. We laugh. We have the same kind of sense of humor. We could be ridiculous, and it's just wonderful. So think about the people you spend the most time with, who you choose to hang with when you have the choice. Fill yourself up with these people that bring out the best in each other. And that's really great feng shui. You want to shui yourself, shui your life, and make sure your space is saying everything you want to support that.
And you know how it feels when you're with people that you love to be with, right? You know how it feels when you're out with people and all you did was talk about really depressing things, or it was like a really angry conversation. You walk away feeling kind of like you need a shower. But when you're with people where it's about light and energy and peace and space and it's lovely and you're laughing, you leave that space feeling like you could, do anything. Whatever it is you need to do, you could do it because you have been so lifted and so enlightened. And it really is so much a part of finding the people that support that for you. Right?
Absolutely. Right. Yeah, because life is supposed to be easy. Things we do is supposed to be easy. When you are in flow, when everything just seems to happen magically, take a moment and embrace and celebrate that. And notice where you are. Notice who you're with. Notice what you're wearing. Because we talk about feng shui and fashion too. That is a whole other subject. And I'm going to be sharing a whole wonderful class on that with my feng shui, my international feng shui organization coming up in April. But everything we do in life has a meaning, has a purpose. Do you want to be a wallflower and blend into the background? Oh, I can help you do that too. Do you want to, be there to stand out in a way that you're just shining your being you? Well, we can do that too. So everything we do has an impact. And we want you. So be yourself with purpose, because that's what we love about you. We just want more of that. And life is good, right? We're going to see with love, with happiness, with joy. I can see what's good about this. And I'm reminding myself today, remember, there's something good in everything.
So we talked earlier about the Chinese New Year, right?
Yes.
We talked about the Lunar New Year happening, and it's the year of the tiger.
Yes.
So what does the year of the tiger mean for love and for relationships?
Okay, well, the year of the tiger, the water tiger, is bringing lots of wonderful opportunity. First of all, the tiger is very active. So we're going to find ourselves feeling more active and easily, wanting to move about this year. This water tiger is also going to give us the opportunity to learn how to communicate with each other. Water is about communication. We may start thinking about minding our words, paying attention to how we speak to others, the words we use, listening to what others are saying rather than speaking over them or just shouting out what we believe in. Starting to take your emotions down and be respectful of the person that you're with. We don't have to agree. We don't have to like it, but can we treat each other with respect and kindness? And everything about relationships and how we relate with each other this year is going to determine our long-term success, whether it's in business, whether it's with family or personal. And if you want to cut someone out of your life this year, be rude, nasty, because it's going to last for a long time. But how about we start creating a different vibration? So the tiger's bringing this opportunity for communication. Also, to remind us about our boundaries. Water likes to spread out and go all over the place. Well, it's time to spread out, but set your boundaries. We can spread out, but we can also determine what is appropriate and what we choose to receive and what we choose to give. Because it doesn't have to be all or nothing. It doesn't have to be, well, I have to give it all away and then just, feel empty. No, it's about respecting everything and everybody. And the next thing is with opportunity. What does a tiger do? How does a tiger behave? Well, if you study a tiger out in the wild, the tiger will be there and he'll be observing. He'll be scoping it out, be paying attention, kind of what's happening. And then when he knows what's going on and how everything is going to pan out, then he'll pounce. So there may be lots of opportunity this year to do something different or new. Before you just, take a high risk adventure, take a moment, check it out, see what's behind it. Are you connecting with people that are honorable, upstanding, honest? Is what you see what you get, or is there something underneath the surface? And when you're certain that you've explored everything, you've done that due diligence, right? Due diligence is the word that people use when exploring something new. And all of that feels good, go for it, right? So we want to be adventurous in a very smart and practical way. Remember the tiger, he's not jumping into a pack of people that are going to eat him up before he scopes it out. He'll check it out and see, is this good for me? Oh no, maybe I better go over to that other pasture because there's something better for me over that way. So it's so practical. What does the tiger do? And Tony the Tiger, what does he say? That's great. So we want to say, what's great about today? We've got Tony the Tiger with us.
I have to show you this. This is amazing. Angela, it's making her so motivated that she's decluttering her dresser.
Go, Angela.
Angela has beautiful sparkly jewelry. So if you follow Angela on Facebook, she does her Friday Night Lives. She does all of this really cool stuff, and she has sparkly jewelry that she sells. So
whoa. Gotta have sparkle in your life.
Always a little bit of sparkle. It's so awesome. So I also want to talk at least for a minute about what's happening on your blog. So can you tell everybody about your blog post?
Oh, so on my blog post, I have my 9 favorite tips to create romance in your life. And it reviews a lot of the things I talked about, but there's a couple of other things there as well that you can use to really just make the life you love for yourself. So I call it the Shui of Love because it all starts with you, how you feel in yourself, how you feel in your space, and how much fun is it that we can actually do little things to create that spark. And anytime you want to do something to attract something in your life, you smile as you're thinking about it. You smile as you're doing it. You feel what it's actually going to feel like. Use your imagination. And all those water people out there that are the daydreamers that can get lost in their thoughts and become these daydream believers, daydream about it. It's so cool because you just never know when something might be showing up that you've been dreaming about. Make it happen.
I like that. I love my daydreams. And if you want to reach out to Lois, because you should reach out to Lois, you can reach her at her email address, lois@loiskramer-perez.com. You can also go to her website, which I know I have. Hold on one second. You can go to Instagram. Make sure you go to Instagram and follow Mambo Feng Shui Lois on Instagram. It is in the comments for you guys. And then again, go to loiskramer-perez.com. Make sure you check out our blog. There's more than just the Shui of Love. There's so many other things in the blog that's so great for you. So check it out, read it, see what you can see. I have had some of the most amazing experiences with Lois and lasting throughout time. It's been how many years now? Has it been 5? How many years?
More than 5.
I think so. Lois, I was addicted. And when I say addicted, I mean addicted to soda. I could not stop. And it was high octane. It was 20-ounce bottles of Pepsi, 6, 7, 8 a day. Yes, I know. I was crazy. And I would try to give it up. And I couldn't do it. And I would be like 12 hours in. And my husband would be like, oh my God, you're giving up the soda. Please go back on the soda. You're awful when you give up the soda. And I gave up. I was like, this is never going to help. And Lois said, come to my group, see what we can do. Lois does hypnosis as well. And I was like, it is never going to work. It is never going to work. It's just never going to work. And the first night, she walked us through the exercise of giving something up, and I gave up the soda. It has been over 6 years, 7 years. I don't know. It's been forever. I have not had a soda since. I didn't have any headaches. I didn't have anything happen. Now, it is true. You have to really want to do it because Because how many times have I said, can you help me exercise? And you're like, yes, if you really want to do it. And I'm not exercising. So no, I really don't want to exercise. But but I have given up so many things. I have changed my life in so many ways, thanks to this wonderful woman. So if you have things that you want to accomplish in your life, this is a lady to talk to. And really, the first time I met you, you were wearing bright red lipstick and this kick, you know what, leather jacket. And you were a rock star and you have always been a rock star. You bring the light into every room that you walk into. And if you're lucky, you'll get to hear her sing. Can you do it? Can you do it for me?
Okay. Wait, I got the bells. Got to have the bells, right? Ooh, what a little feng shui can do for you.
You cannot ever see Lois without knowing that that's Lois. So make sure you're following her all over the place. It is so great. For everybody who is watching us live, I love you. You know I love you. For everybody who's watching us on the replay, and I know you're out there with your wine and your jammies, I think that's amazing. Make sure you're leaving us comments then too. We will follow up, I promise. We want to hear what you think about what we were talking about. And we really wish you the best, best, best Valentine's Day. Lois, you're my heart. Thank you for coming and playing today.
Thank you for having me.
You have the best information and the best advice. And I learn something new every time I listen to you. Mwah. Happy Valentine's Day, my love.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day, loves. We will be back next week. We're still talking about hearts. So we're going to have someone share their journey with love next week. So come back and see it and support us and hopefully get a little inspired. But for now, go out, find a way to love yourself, find a way to love the people that you meet. If you have someone in your life that's romantically connected to you, love them too. If you're open to that, be really open to it and see what you can find. Today's a new day. Every day's a new day. And love is the best way to experience that day. We love you all. Bye-bye, everybody.